So we are here and we are rocking and rolling. I do like to always ask my guests how my hair look. The reason why I ask my guests how my hair look because in recent interviews I have my hair all over the place.
And nobody told you.
Nobody would say nothing. So when I'm
And
doing
nobody
post
said
work, I'm
nothing.
like, what's going on? Like
They're right.
but my grandmother been watching the show
Hmm.
and she's 87 years old. And when I go visit her, she's in Georgia. And every time I go visit her, she's like, how's my hair look? And I'm like, oh, you watch my show. I'm like, all right. So now I got to ask every episode. So at the beginning of all my episodes, I ask that same question, even though my hair is fine. But
Your hair looks great. How's my hair look?
your hair looks good.
I got
And
that one little piece.
yeah, it's all good though. I like the artwork behind you too. So that's pretty
Thank
dope.
you.
Give it the true shot. I want 7.5 million over my head, money hitting under my bed. Baby, let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it. Got my grind on heavy till the fam get fed. They gotta be good when I'm dead, man. Let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it. My grind on heavy till the fam get fed. They gotta be good when I'm dead, man. Let me talk about it, let me talk about it, let me talk about it.
So I want to go into it like this. So I have this thing I like to give people their flowers, and I like to kind of do like a sort of like a deaf comedy jam mixed with a little, new way of introducing who I have on the show. So,
Great.
bear with me. Today's guest is an actress, storyteller, and creative force who has carved out her own lane in Hollywood while staying true to who she is. You've seen her shine on screen in the hit Netflix series She's Gotta Have It, starred in a heartfelt film alongside Kevin Hart, who is one of my favorite individuals, in Fatherhood, and she has stepped onto the global stage in the blockbuster Jurassic World Dominion, which I've been watching Jurassic Park movies since, well, we're about the same age. So we've been watching this since day one when they first came out, the first one. So when you were in that movie, I was like, oh man, all right, here we go. We going somewhere. But beyond acting, she's a graduate of the prestigious Tisch. Did I say that right? Tisch or Tisch?
Tish.
Tisch School of Arts at New York University, a creative thinker and someone who continues to expand her voice through new platforms like her personal blog that we will be getting into and other artistic ventures. And if that wasn't enough, she even stepped into the fashion world and walking the runway during Runway 7 at New York Fashion Week in fall 2025. I was like, I'm sitting there, man. I'm like, hold on, I know who that is. I'm like, I shoot fashion shows all the time, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm nudging people. People like, I don't know what you're talking about. Who that? I'm like, all right, you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go in my own hotel room and be in my own world after this. But anyway, you are proof that when talent meets purpose and authenticity, incredible things can happen. So today, to my formats, we're diving into Miss DeWanda Wise, Mrs. DeWanda Wise, into
True.
your journey, her evolution as an artist, and what continues to inspire your creativity. Everyone, welcome to In True Form, Miss DeWanda Wise.
Thank you, Corey. That was great. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you, man. Appreciate you so much. Like I told you off camera, well, off record, you have inspired many people. Um, One of the biggest inspirations that I seen was just your growth in the film industry. So I just want to first, I want to kind of open the floor up. How have you been? How's your day looking like? How's your week looking like? Go ahead and crank it up for me.
I love that. And my week is going well. It's Friday for those watching. So we're recording this on a Friday. So I had a really lovely week. And I live in rural America. So my life and my day-to-day is radically simple. And in that vein, it's going well. All things considered, I feel like the concept or the construct of what wellness is, and when you're asking someone, in the year of our Lord 2026, like, oh, how you doing? You got to have like a little sliding scale. So all
Right.
things considered, I am well.
That's good. That's good. I was at lunch with my wife today, and she was like, "What you gonna ask DeWanda?" I was like, "Man," I said, I always got questions lined up. I get the bio stuff and I put things in my back pocket. But this podcast is typically conversational. I like it to be genuine. I like it to be authentic, true in its world, its own form in a sense. But she was just like, you should ask her, because she's all into skincare. She's real godly and wholesome and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You should ask her, what does her day look like in a 24-hour day? What does it look like for DeWanda? Like, not like if you don't have no script reading. I'm saying it just like how she's saying it.
Yeah.
So what does that look like to you? Like your alarm goes off. What time does your alarm go off? When you get up out of the bed, do you do any type of morning rituals or facial routines and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. This is my day. I'll go through the whole day.
Let's do it.
This is my acting. No, let's say I'm having a day where I'm like, I'm not writing, I'm not producing, and I'm not like reading a script or doing anything even remotely actor centric. So I'm usually up around 7-ish. My husband Alano usually makes coffee. So I literally get up, I look out the window because outside the window is the forest and nature. And I just stare out the window for a little bit as the sun rises. And then my dog comes into the bed because he does not sleep in the bed, sleeps downstairs. So dog comes upstairs, he gets in the bed, and we cuddle for an hour at least. So I have coffee and cuddles with my dog for an hour in the morning. And then I will take him out on a walk. Good long walk, nature walk. We have paths. So we'll go on a nature walk in the forest, bring him back, and then Alano and I usually go somewhere to work out. Like I'll either there's like a fitness spot in my town that does all the things, the yoga, the Pilates, all the
You
things
got
that we love.
Lifetime?
Not Lifetime. We
Oh,
have
okay.
Planet Fitness. Okay, this is
Okay.
when I said rural America, I mean rural America.
I got you.
Like Lifetime sounds fancy. We have Planet Fitness. So I will either go to the lovely, yoga spot,
Okay.
or Alano is my personal trainer. He's really good at it. He's too good at it. Yesterday,
give me one more. Come on, give me one more.
He was helping two elders use the leg extension machines, and anytime he starts helping anybody, you know how it is.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
yeah.
"Do you work
Can
here?
you show me? Yep.
You
Can you
should
show
work
me?
here."
Yep. That's hilarious.
So we train. After that, we usually pick up some groceries because I like to live a little like European, life where you get your groceries fresh the day of.
Word.
And return home, feed the dog, walk the dog again. I will spend hours cooking a meal.
Okay. You a prep girl.
Hours.
Okay.
Happily.
Okay. So that's peace for you. Food is peace.
Just chopping. Yeah. Food and like nourishment. Like
and you're still vegan, right?
I am not vegan.
Okay.
That is a great question.
Okay. I was about to ask, like, all right, what is it looking like? Because
I am not vegan. I definitely had to start eating meat again.
Okay.
Being vegan, I mean, I do feel like I was high key such a nutritionist because you really do have to be mindful of food, like, food combinations and making sure you're getting like enough protein when you're vegan.
Right.
So because I moved to a rural place, we know where our meat sources are coming from. So
right.
No longer vegan.
I'm with you.
So then I'll cook, feed the dog, feed ourselves. And by that time, like afternoon, evenings, it's usually some combination of whatever we're watching at the moment, which is 98% comedies.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my thing.
I'm talking St. Dennis, Abbott Elementary,
Yes.
Why you ain't reality show.
Why you ain't hit Abby yet?
Oh yeah, hey Quinta, what's up?
Yeah, right.
I love that show.
I could see you as an Afrocentric teacher, but go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Which they haven't done yet.
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it. It's Philly.
We just
it's
put it out
Philly.
Yep. It's so many of them in the school system that's like that. Like it's not even funny, but you got homeless people that are
Just
so
straight
Afrocentric.
shea butter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shea
real.
butter, yeah, but no, I'll let you finish though. You got my brain twisting. Like I gotta send some emails out after this, but go ahead.
That's hilarious. So that, and then I just like, I'm a big reader. So usually there's like some reading in the evening. And then because she asked, skincare, I guess I skipped it. So in the morning, I do vitamin C and sunscreen. And then in the evening, I do like a really good moisturizer. That's where I spend my money. Like a really good moisturizer that has all the stuff in it. So like the hyaluronic acid, the
Mhm.
peptides. And then before bed, I do retinol.
Okay. That the hydro acid, was that the blue bottle?
Probably. I don't know. There's so many brands. Everybody sells skincare now. Everybody sells hair care and skincare now.
That's the move. It's the move. It's the same way when you probably went vegan, everybody was selling sea moss.
Everybody.
So, but yeah, she skincare is definitely major in the household. So my son is 10, my 14-year-old daughter, and I have a 21-year-old Tamar, Jordan, and Jaden.
Yeah.
And they do their skincare routine like their mom every single day. I'm talking about face masks, people walking around the rooms looking all weird. I don't know if you remember that movie Beaches with Bette
Yes.
Midler.
Yes.
You remember the scene where she was in the beginning of the movie, she was dancing with the white mask and it was super creepy. Like,
That's your everyday.
yes,
That's
that's
your life
them
every day.
all day. I'll be like, oh, that's weird. And then none of them seen Beaches. So I'm sitting there always like spooked out in my
You're the only
own.
one with a reference.
Yeah, it's weird, but you know how that goes. You're the only one in the room that knows what's
So
going on,
fair.
but nobody else knows what you're talking about. But
Oh, I also do that creepy red light. So I do have the creepy red light mask. And I do that. And we bought this thing. This is new. I love gadgets. We got that massage. We got this like massage, shoulder massagey thing.
they be doing like this.
Yeah, and it does like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
So I do that right before bed. I lay
I
on
know.
that and I do my mask and then I go to bed.
So it feels great then, I'm assuming. Yeah.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
what's
does.
up.
It
Yeah.
does.
I haven't gotten disciplined. I take a lot of vitamins. So I take a lot of Dr. Sebi stuff,
Hmm.
biotin stuff. So I'm a pill guy for the vitamins.
Yes. I'm a pill
And
guy.
so my skin is really good too. People be asking me what I do with my
It
skin. I
is.
just take vitamins.
You take the
Like
vitamins and you drink that
that's all I do.
water.
Yep, I do that. And so they be jealous of me a little bit because I don't be sitting there with the padded cloths and all that other kind of stuff. But I digress. So I did vegan. Well, we all did vegan for 4 years, maybe around that time. And
Hmm.
just like yourself, the protein change had to happen. And my wife was just like, oh, let's start back eating fish a little bit or some. Did you have to warm yourself back up into eating meat, like, or did you go hard right right into it full blown?
No, I definitely started with fish and poultry
Okay.
and then like ease back
Easing
into,
back
and we
into
still
it.
don't do a ton of like red meat.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
And I,
yeah. It's a
that
transition.
lamb and that jerk chicken and oxtails was calling me when I was vegan.
Yeah.
They called
Alano too.
yeah.
Alano big time. I think I remember the first time we made oxtails again. It was like I don't know how many years, but like there was a moment in time, like probably 2 years ago, where
Mhm.
he was like, it was like every 2 weeks he was like, "So what about them oxtails?" And I was like, "Okay, all right, all right,
We gotta slow
okay,
down for a second.
we gotta."
That's dope. You mentioned your husband 3 times, and y'all have a romantic story, and it's very similar to my wife and I's story. And that was one of the biggest things I did want to chat with you about because you guys met and then were married in 3 months.
Hmm.
And my wife and I we met September '09, and that December, that December, I had picked out the ring that I wanted to propose to her. Now,
Yep.
she wasn't feeling me like that. Like it wasn't like mutual, like how you guys were, and but it was.
Well, I will say I was the one who was like, "Oh, we belong together. We should be married."
See, that's crazy.
So,
I was
so
like
to be
that.
fair,
Man, my wife was like, "We are fighting the inevitable," and I was like, "Well, why you feel that way? We've been doing all of this." Like, so I had her engagement ring that December, and I proposed to her that March of 2010. But it was work. We didn't date. We didn't call each other boyfriend or girlfriend. It was just automatically like we're engaged in March after we just met in September. So I was just like listening to your story, and I was just like, man, you don't find too many people that really feel like love at first sight in a sense. Like, yo, this is my soul person. This is my other half that I've been looking for. What was that like? Like just in what did that 3-month window look like when you were like in love and people, if you had people in your corner that was like, you sure you good, DeWanda? Is that the right one? Like, because we know it's haters in every movie. So, did you have haters, or did you have, or you was just in your own fairy tale?
So the first part of the question, when we met, I think part of the reason why it was so kind of fast is we were both in very honest seasons in our lives, like wildly honest seasons in our lives. My mother was incarcerated at the time.
Mm.
His father had passed 2 weeks before we met. And like you and your wife, this is 2009. So
Yep.
no one had the framework of like social media and this idea, the extremity, I'll say, the extremity of the idea of, being a brand or, meeting someone's like representative and not actually meeting the actual person. It wasn't as pervasive and prevalent as it is now. So I think part of the reason why we were able to get to know each other so quickly is because we didn't have a period of adjustment where there was any artifice.
Mm.
So that's kind of part of the story that's always like left off the table, because I think whenever anyone thinks about, oh, love at first sight, what developing intimacy meant for us was that we were having real conversations sooner than people have real conversations,
Yep.
and Alano had just started his professional career. Like he had just booked Terrell Alvin McCraney's Brother Sister Plays, which is like, before he won the Oscar for Moonlight, it is Terrell's like, most well-known theatrical work. So Alano is starring in this trilogy of plays, which was a lot of work. And I am nothing if not a girl from Baltimore. So I've always been enormously resourceful. And kind of very soon, like within the month that we met, I was like, you don't need to be paying rent in New York.
Yep.
You need to let go of this apartment. They're putting you up, in Princeton, so you can be saving that rent. And I like, booked the U-Haul. I don't know why I'm on my phone. I'm sure it was a computer.
Yeah.
I
But
like
we do
booked the
this. I'm with
U-Haul
that though.
to move his stuff. Like and then by the time his show was up, um, he had all these amazing reviews, and it was time for him to like level up in his with his reps. So I like put together a press packet, for us to send out to new agents and managers. So it really was kind of from day one, this really intimate integration of art and love.
Mm.
We're nothing if not a late 90s, early 2000s, think brown sugar.
Yes.
Like our marriage is
Yeah.
art and life, and art and life and love, and art and life and love. It is that way even more so today, but it was always that way
Yeah.
from the very, very beginning, from like running lines, to obviously being there as like the major anchor. And I think to your second, so that's the first part. It was a depth of intimacy that I feel like the concept of love at first sight almost feels too trivial to encapsulate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then the second part is, both Alano and I were adultified kids, right? So now we have the language for it, but we were both very mature kids. We met in our 20s. Um,
You experienced life
and
already.
we had already experienced life. That's just what it is when you grow up in the 90s.
Yep.
Um, and, he had been a public speaker since he was like 5. So he
Yeah.
was always like just such a little old soul. I, my mom has always been like the homie mom. So much of what I've done was done independently, which was a real gift. It
Yeah.
was wild, but it was also a real gift. It was very much well a household where I was like, hey, mom, I filled out the FAFSA. I need you to sign it.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
cool.
mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes
So
a lot of
all to
sense.
say, none of our friends really or family outright questioned our judgment. Now they might have been talking shit behind our backs.
Right. I was gonna say, I was like, it's got to be some type of sourness behind
We
it.
will never know. I
Yeah.
mean, I will say my girl Brittany, met Alano and she was like, very Christian. She was like, y'all not gonna be shacking up. If you going, like you gonna be with my girl, you need to put a ring on it. She was
Yep.
very crazy. She was
Yeah.
very
All y'all
crazy.
always had one crazy friend in the group. It's like it's the always that one. Cause it's funny you mentioned that because at the time, my wife's friend was like, "Who just pops up at your house?" It was a miscommunication in the process of us having, going out and stuff like that. We had did like a early in the day type of date, and
Right.
I was under the impression that I was coming back over again that night to pick her
Yeah.
up for another date, and I was wrong. So when I came ringing the doorbell, Angel came to the door, and she was just like, what are you doing here?"
What are you doing here?
And
You
my mouth
sociopath.
just dropped. Yeah, it was a walk of shame to my car. And I just remember driving back being like, yeah, she's never going to want to talk to me now. Like, I look like a creeper. It was just on that type of level. And I remember her telling me her friend was just like, who just comes and just pops up at your house? Girl, you need to leave him alone.
Unannounced.
Girl, just leave him. I'm sitting there like, it was always some hating friend, like in any type of like what she probably wasn't even thinking like that, but you got that friend influence. But anyway,
Yes,
but
that's
that's cool.
hilarious.
Yeah, I love y'all's story, and it's just with both of you all being in the acting industry as well. Is I know you guys be sitting there, reading scripts to one another and talking
Yep.
about characters and all that other kind of stuff, man. What brought you back to the East Coast from the West Coast?
We were looking to purchase a house. Two things. So we were looking to purchase a house, and I grew up in Maryland, partially in Baltimore, and then also partially in Howard County. My grandfather owned an enormous junkyard.
Hmm.
So I grew up on a lot of land, you know. I had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of tetanus shots because aforementioned land had a lot of rusty nails.
Right.
So, but I'm used to, and that kind of expansiveness is just such a, core element of how, like my self-construct, like how I like to live and breathe. So as we were looking, to like buy in California, I honestly don't know if the prices were laughing at me or if I was laughing at the prices. Like, I don't know who was laughing at who.
You was laughing at the prices.
I was laughing at the prices, but the
Yeah.
prices were also laughing at me, okay? Because I was just like, who are you talking to? That's how I felt about it. I would see a Zillow listing, or like at the time we were even working with like a real estate agent, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt attacked. I was like, who are you talking to? You're
Yep.
not talking to me.
Yep.
So that was that was a large part of it. And kind of for me to add insult to injury, these asking prices with no land felt crazy to me.
That's insane, man.
It
I know.
felt
I know what you're talking about. We
great.
went to LA for the first time 2 years ago, and my if you don't know, well, I don't know what I'm talking about if you don't know, but I'm a photographer. Been
Mhm.
doing it for 15 plus years, and we was just like, hey, she can, at the time she was working with Tabitha Brown.
Mhm.
And so we was just like, if we can get out there, like it's about to be on. Like we went out there for Donna's recipe birthday trip.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we was like looking at these prices, and we was like, oh,
You start punching the numbers in.
yeah, I was like, oh hell no. Like we was sitting there like we could just come and visit. It went from we could live here to we could come and visit whenever we want to.
Real.
And we left. We was like, nah, man. And
Nah.
we had brought it up one time because of those prices.
Corey, I'm not kidding you. My mortgage is half what my rent used to be.
That's crazy, yo. That is crazy.
I just, I'm not an easily impressed person.
Yeah,
I've always been very like, that's Emperor's New Clothes. I'll never forget. I feel like I've been that way since I was like 7 years old. Like there's certain things that I was just like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was, man, we came back. We was talking about that the whole trip back. We was just like, nah, yo. Maybe in some other parts. We was like, maybe in some other parts that we don't know about. And we was like, nah, it's definitely like this everywhere. Like it gotta be.
There was a listing. So then we were like pivoting because we were looking for land. So we were like looking above San Francisco, right? Because we're like, oh, we love California. So we're looking above San Francisco. I'm not exaggerating. There was a listing for a house for $1 million. And the house was just like this, like 5 sticks still standing. Like it was just 5 sticks still standing. And that was the house for $1 million.
No way.
No
way. I couldn't imagine it.
No.
But no,
So that was one. And then number 2 was all my people are in Maryland and New York.
I was gonna say, man, you was in Maryland around the time The Wire and everything was being filmed. Would be more.
I think I might have just missed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's really like that out there?
Not anymore.
That's good. I'm originally from North New Jersey, so I go up top and be there maybe real brief, and then I leave because
yeah. I saw, what warmed my heart the other day? I saw a commercial for Baltimore for like Baltimore tourism, and I got a little emotional about it. I was like, oh my goodness, look at them having a little tourism industry, trying to get people. I feel like when you get there, they're gonna be like, stay within these 5 blocks. You're gonna stay right. Here's the harbor. Here's Fells Point.
Funny. Like, y'all come on in, but before we get started, let me let you know that.
They right.
Yep. That's hilarious, man. But yeah, I'm sitting here, man. I was like, I ain't asked you none of the questions that I got on my I feel like Dion Cole. So Dion Cole, I don't know if you see, he has this new podcast that's out. It's called Funny Knowing You. And he be sitting there with his cards in his hand, and he don't go through none of the questions because he's sitting there laughing and giggling with his friends, Bill Burr and Cedric the Entertainer and all of them. And I just be sitting there like, I don't want to get like that. But I've been getting like that for the last 10 plus episodes. I'm like,
I mean, it's great.
It is, but nah, I do want to ask you, one of my close family members, we call each other family, we call each other cousins, we've known each other since we were babies. He's based out of New Jersey. His name is Terrell Elijah. And he is getting in the movie critic realm. So like he's going to start doing videos for like movie reviews and things like that. So he watches all my episodes from the beginning to the end, and he leaves a comment on every last one of them and communicates back and forth. He is such a fan of yours, and he's really big on Marvel. So I said, Terrell, what you want me to ask DeWanda? And he said, bro, ask her about Storm. He was like, I don't know how you can position the question. He was just like, I gotta know. So my question to you is there anything in the works, or if I can't mention it, blink twice. But have you been, I know you've been getting pulled left and right for Marvel and things like that? Is that on the horizon, or is that, has that conversation even?
Now you know full well that I can't say nothing about.
I just wanted you to say that what you just said.
That's so funny.
But it was for him, so I was just like, I'll ask anything. Like,
What's his name again?
Terrell Elijah.
Terrell.
Terrell Elijah. Yep.
Hi, Terrell Elijah.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you for being a part of the petition.
I just did a petition over a boombox the other day, and it's supposed to be a boombox that has a cassette tape, CD player, Bluetooth, all of that, and it looks like the Radio Raheem version of like from Do the Right Thing.
I want it.
I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send you the link to it. It's a petition going out right now, and they're supposed to be announcing when it's going to get released. But I've already put my bid in. I was like, I want it. I was like, we come from a different background, and my wife never saw Do the Right Thing, but that's one of my favorite movies. And Radio Raheem walking around with that joint on his shoulder. I said, I'm gonna do it. I said, I'm gonna do a whole episode with that radio on my shoulder.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's not happening.
That's so freaking funny. But let me ask you this though. When you were okay, so I just went all the way back. I went forward and I went back and I went back to the middle. My audience do ask, how did you meet these people that you get in front of you? So to my intro formats out there, I did New York Fashion Week in 2025. That was like my fourth time, I believe. I can't remember, but anyway, I was doing the Book of Beauty. I was their main photographer, and I did the backstage. I was assigned to the backstage and everywhere pretty much. And DeWanda walked for Natalie. What's her last name? Federer.
Yep.
Walked out there, and I was just like, yo, talked about that earlier. My reaction. I don't want to go through the whole reaction thing again. But I just remember I was like, nobody knew who I was doing photos with. Nobody knew who you were. So I was just like, I'm really big on delivery. I'm really big on getting people their photos as quick as possible. That's with any work that I do photography related.
Right.
I went straight back to my hotel room because I was staying right at the spot right next to the Sony Hall or whatever. And I just was like, well, let me just reach out to you. And you responded.
I do. I'm a responsive person.
And that, like I told you earlier in the call, I was like, that meant a lot. And your photos were the first photos that I started editing. And I'd be there the whole time, but I was like, I will make an exception and edit your photos. And that's how we stayed in touch through Instagram. And that post went crazy.
Yeah.
You had everybody.
Those photos were extraordinary.
I was blown away on everybody that was like, I was sitting there like, yo, that's dope. She got mad love from all your people. And my followers, of course, was just like, I was just a little annoyed because I had let someone get in my seat for those shots. And I shot them on another angle. So right before you walked out there, I was dead shot in the middle. But when we're partnering up and we're, flipping back and forth, they don't want all of our photos to look the same. So they're like, hey, you know what? Let me get the left side. Let me get the right side. That left side of the stage, like, well, it would have been on your right side, you walking down. That right side of the stage, the light was too bright. So I didn't take any photos on that side the entire time on Fashion Week. But that side that I did your shots on, it was something about that light. It just made your skin pop. And I was just like, oh, man. And it was crazy because the color that you had on matched your eyes. The piece came on there.
Natalie knew. Yeah.
Yeah, like she was brilliant.
Yeah, as soon as I, kind of agreed to walk the show, she was like, I know exactly what I'm putting you in. She's like, I know exactly. And she said that. She's like, I know exactly what I'm putting you in for your eyes.
Perfect. And I see
Yeah.
my man on there. He came out and he was in Black Mirror.
Who, Mamadou?
Yes.
Yeah.
He
So
was
that's
in,
how, so I met Natalie. So Mamadou at the and I were both in Jurassic World.
yep.
So that's how I met her. So she and Mamadou go like way, way, way back. This is not the first time, he's walked in her shows before. And he has like, traditional model body. He's like 6 footer, lean,
Face and
muscular.
everything, the
Um,
walk, everything.
yeah, exactly. So he's been rocking with her, since the very beginning. So I'm just like, I had previous fashion weeks and all for anyone listening, I am so far from a fashion girl, it's hilarious. So I've sat in the front row. I never forget my first like fashion week. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to fashion show. So you go, you get fitted, they like want you to wear the outfit of the designer. So you
Mhm.
go, you get fitted for the thing. And then you go through the same glam you would go through like if you're like doing something that's a lot of time,
Right.
like an award show that's going to be like 3 hours. You go through the whole thing. I go to the show. This was Tory Burch show like 3 years ago. Go to show, sit in the front row. It's on like the West Side,
Mhm.
um, beautiful show, extraordinary show. And after 5 minutes, everybody stands up and they start clapping, and it's like uproarious applause. And I was like, oh, is this like a little break? Is this like a little break? Are we gonna like get snacks and then come back and sit down?
Right.
And I was like, oh no, that was it. That was the show. That was the show.
Just like
So
that.
that was what's crazy to me about Fashion Week. There's
Man.
a lot of to do.
And it's so
Obviously, these
fast.
designers are spending, years sometimes, but
Yep.
like at least 1 year in
Yep.
preparation for a new season. And the show itself is just like 5 minutes. And that, when I tell you, it still makes me laugh.
Yeah. It goes
It
by so fast, man.
still cracks me up.
Yeah. It's nothing but pandemonium. It's really like the mad dash type of thing. Like, I don't know if when you were there, did you get your makeup and everything done across the street at the Book of Dreams
Yep.
team? So you seen how that house
It's
looked in
it's
there. Like,
I mean, it's like, any theater kid would know the vibe and the energy,
right.
but it's like that, except that, Natalie was trying to warn me. She was like, just like if anybody is disrespectful, it's just the industry. Like if she's She's like,
Yeah.
if anybody is just like not great, it is just the nature. And I was like, that's wild. Like if you're, I mean, I've never been dismissive of any job. Like there's not a single job that da 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 da. Da. So anyone who undermines what's required to be in that industry, to be a model specifically. Like I
Mm,
remember years and years ago, my little sister, she's 7 years younger than me, and she's like, I want to be a model. And I was like, I think it requires a lot more discipline than you think it does.
mhm. It really does.
Like in the same way that an actor is an actor, like if you're modeling, your body is your instrument. Like
Yeah.
that is your body is your 9 to 5. Like, you really
Yeah.
have to like care for it. Like it's a Ferrari at all times. And then on top of that, you have to have, if you don't have like Teflon
About
confidence,
to say thick
you
skin.
have to have an insane amount of, which is what I have. I am hilariously well humored. Everything makes me laugh.
Yeah,
Everything
same.
makes me laugh. Disrespect makes me laugh.
Yeah. Like, who you talking to? You crazy. You talking to me like that.
It's funny.
We need to
And
get
it's
your ass
funny
in
to
here right
me,
now, DeWanda. Oh my God, you are wilding right now, but I got you.
wildin'. I'm like, I'm very like, who hurt you or like you
Yeah.
need a snack. That's automatically what I think. I automatically think like either who hurt you
Yeah.
or like you need a snack.
Yes. You must be hungry right now.
You must be hungry.
I got you. That used to be something I used to talk about all the time. I used to say, like mad people that's locked up right now, they had to been hungry. It was either hungry or they was super hot outside. And
That's
I'm
it.
like, that's what gets people in trouble. And then, you got the small percentage that just has mental issues. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Real. But
speaking
real.
speaking of mental issues though,
Yes.
I'm really, really big in the mental health world. And I ask a lot of my guests, have you ever encountered or dealt with imposter syndrome?
So right before this is also y'all learning way too much about me. Okay, so right before, you know, I've always gone to schools that were super white, super duper white. Every
Mhm.
school, all white. And when I was in high school, I went to at the time, and I didn't, this is important now, but I wasn't thinking about it in these terms then. So I went to public school in Maryland. My mother had the wherewithal to make sure that I went to like a certain public school system. So I went to school in Howard County, Maryland, which I think still is within like the top 10 of school districts in the country. And it was definitely, I think it was like second when I was there, like in elementary, high school, middle school. Important background. So I'm a public school kid ultimately. And at one point in high school, I was like, oh, should I go to Duke Ellington School of the Arts or should I go to Baltimore School of the Arts? And this was when I first started acting. And I was like, no, you know what? I would prefer to be big fish, small pond vibes, stay here and like actually have the experience where I get to star in the shows. Right. So that's what I did. I kind of like built my own little art school curriculum um, in my public school. Flash forward, I get into NYU and I don't remember. I'm sure the seed was planted, but I also have this superpower where if people say something crazy to me, I'm able to swat it off. It's really helpful.
Right.
I think part of that is because I don't like to hold grudges and I'm not a person who is like driven by the disbelief of others.
Right.
So if it's not useful to me, then it just goes in one ear out the other way. But I feel like someone must have planted the like affirmative action seed in my head somewhere, right?
Mhm.
So I'm at NYU. I'm one of, in my class at um Atlantic, it was me, Gina Rodriguez, she was from Chicago,
Mhm.
and one other student of color named Elizabeth Dominguez, who was white passing. That's it. Out of a class of 80, it was basically me and Gina, right?
Mm.
So I had that first week of school, that very first week of school, I had that flash, that fear that, like, oh my goodness, am I here to be like this like token,
Token
you
black
know?
girl. Yep.
And that was the flash. And then um after that first week, two things happened. So I was a double major with a minor in undergrad. So I was taking the acting classes and I was taking, the academic courses in metropolitan social and cultural analysis. After 1 week of school at NYU, I said, never mind.
You ready to change that? Yeah.
I said, never mind. Okay. I was in class with some of these kids who allegedly graduated from like these top,
That's crazy. Yeah.
private school institutions.
You felt like you was a
And
big pawn.
my 18-year-old brain was not impressed.
You said either I was laughing at them or they was laughing at me. You went back to that same feeling.
I was legit like, never mind.
Dang.
That was the first and only time I've ever felt imposter syndrome
That's
in
crazy.
my life.
Stomach hurting and everything. Did
Like,
you deal
oh,
with
and then I was
the
like,
real
what are
sickness
y'all?
aspect behind it?
What'd you say?
Did you deal with the real sickness aspect behind it? Because some people they get really physically,
Physiological
yeah,
responses.
yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. hmm hmm
yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I definitely had like, I always carry like shoulder tension. I definitely had shoulder tension and I had probably like the feeling of anxiety, like that kind of heart racing.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I feel like when it comes to imposter syndrome, the only way out is through.
Mhm.
And the only way really to confront it, it's like exposure therapy, right?
Right.
Is to actually place yourself in the scenarios that challenge and intimidate you. And that's the only way you're like, not only do I belong, but I'm going to excel here.
Hmm. Yep.
You
Yeah,
know, where you just like,
you persevere differently. It's just the way you step up to the challenge when you're in an uncomfortable situation. It's like you really got to go through a weird body change mechanism,
yes,
and you get out of it, and now you're stronger. This is like
absolutely.
my experience was probably like 3 years ago. I was like I said, I've been doing photography all these years, and it was like 3 years ago. I remember I was gearing up to travel. It was gonna be the first time that I was bringing like backdrops and lighting stands and all of that kind of stuff. And I was driving to Macon, Georgia. It's a little bit outside of Atlanta if you're not familiar. And at the booking was for over 150, 200 students, well, kids of all different ages doing like gymnastics photo shoot. And I
Mm-hmm.
was the main person doing the pictures. So from in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna have 5-year-olds all the way to like 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, I can't mess this up. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna be fun because I'm dealing with in my mind, I'm like, I got parents. Parents is gonna see me work. They're gonna be like, yo, we want to book you for this, we want to book you for that. So in my mind, it's the networking piece that I
Yeah.
was gonna
Yeah.
be getting the process behind. I wasn't worried about the photos. I'm like, photos gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But leading up to it, I was like, yo, what if my backdrops don't? What if this messes up? What if my camera malfunctions? I'm starting to think of all this stuff I've never thought of before.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, they spending mad money on trying to get me to come out here. Like they book my travel, they everything. And I'm sitting there like, why am I feeling like this? It just felt like my stomach kept going deeper and deeper in my feet. And I'm like, I'm 5 days away. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even nowhere near the event. And I'm feeling like this. And I remember my wife was just like, you don't think that could be imposter syndrome? I said, what is that? I said, what is imposter syndrome? And I looked it up and I'm like, oh, snap. I was like, that's what that is.
Mm.
It went away 30 minutes before I pulled up at the event. It
What do
was
you
like,
think it was?
say it again.
What changed? Was it just the knowledge? Was it just the
It was just
awareness of
knowing
what you're
that's what it
experiencing?
was. Yeah, I was
Yep.
like, all right, I know what it is now.
Yep.
Now let me go ahead and rock it out.
Isn't that powerful? Like how
Crazy.
sometimes when you have language for something, like when you actually have the language for something, it changes because then you're also, you know what I think part of it is? This is me, as obviously everyone knows I'm a wannabe therapist. I
I'm the
think
same.
part of it is when when you're given an awareness of something, when there's language for it, it automatically makes you know that it is not like isolated. It's not just about you. That this is something that many other people
Have experience
experience.
before you. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was, yo. I just remember being in there and they was coming to me. They was, hey Corey, where do you want us to stand? Do you want the kids that I'm sitting there like, yeah, just go. And I'm directing, and I'm
Yeah.
sitting there like, what was I worried about? I remember going to my car, getting some water, and I'm sitting there drinking because it was the summertime too. It was super hot outside. I remember that much. And I was like, yo, I was tripping. Like,
Yeah.
I did that little crazy laugh with I was doing that. I'm like, why am I laughing like I'm a psycho or something? But all of that was happening, and I was just like, I felt so good though. But when I was done with the event,
Yeah.
back and I was just like, yo, I think I leveled up.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like, yo, that's the other piece behind it. When you go through that weird
Yep.
transition, you just leveled up. You went on another platform. And to transition, that's actually a really good transition. When did you feel like you leveled up in your acting career? A lot of people will say she's got to have it, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I like the first time I saw you was Shots Fired. I'm
Love
a
that.
huge Sanaa Lathan
Mm-hmm.
fan. So we named our daughter after Sanaa Lathan.
Oh,
So
I love that.
Jordan Sanaa.
Yeah.
And
I am also a huge Sanaa Lathan fan.
she's I still can't get over with Family That Prays. I still feel like every time I see that movie, I'd be like, "Are you really like that?" But that's just me caught
Yeah.
up in the actors.
So lovely. Yeah. Yeah.
but no, but yeah, when did you feel like you shifted a gear in a sense?
I feel like my career is such a natural progression, you know? Like I'm sure looking back, potentially looking back, you know, God willing, when I'm like 90, I will be able to see um some seasons as like greater leaps than others. But at the moment, because I'm a an artist who started from absolute scratch, because I'm just like ultimately a working class kid from Maryland, um, there are a few things that were always the case. One thing that was always the case is I was always a leading performer. I was playing Antigone and Prospero in high school.
Mm.
So that was always super consistent. I was always like the lead of the thing. Um, and it actually became more of a liability and even at this moment, to be honest with you, it became more of being a leading lady, being a Black woman leading lady, became more of a liability when the opportunities in the industry didn't match what I was like meant to be doing. Like there was a stretch between 2012 and 2015 where I would be testing for so many pilots.
Mm.
And, at that time, as in now, because we're just circling back because that's what we like to do. That was like the era of the like Black bestie. And the feedback that my reps would always get was like, we cannot put DeWanda next to this white girl.
I get it. Yeah.
They were just like, we can't do that. We're
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I get it.
So my career really is it's always been extraordinarily incremental. I did the whole thing. I've done the Law and Orders. I've
Mhm.
done the like co-star
Yeah.
to guest star to series regular
Yeah.
to movies. Like, it's always been very incremental.
Yeah.
Um, and it's always been wildly intentional. So even before I had like any legs to stand on, any status or whatever, I'd always been very particular. I know when a job is for me, I know when a job is not for me. You know,
Yeah.
if anyone's like, oh, where is DeWanda? She's probably saying no to a lot of stuff because, there's not a lot that I find. I always think of it this way. I'm like, am I needed here? Like, will I actually be of value and can I be of service to this character in this story?
Right.
And, if the answer is no, then like I said, my mortgage is half what my rent used to be,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll wait.
I get it. Man, that's a mouthful. And I do appreciate your journey, and I can definitely tell that the roles that you're taking on is definitely intentional. I can tell that you're doing what you want to do and not what
Yeah.
someone else wants you to do, and you're controlling your own destiny, and you're writing your own ship. My I guess my other question to you is, before we go into my final question,
Hmm.
well, my final two. My other question to you is, I have a segment on my show. It's called, because my photography name is One True Shot Photography. So when you put true and shot in there, I like to think of basketball because I played ball all my whole life. And so
Hmm.
I shoot my shot a lot. So one of my things that I like to do is I like to shoot my shot. Who can you bring on this episode, or not this episode, but on my platform, that would be willing to share their story and be looking into reaching the type of audience like yourself, or in their lane? It can be anybody from a professional to an entrepreneur to an actor, actress, director, whoever. Do you have anybody that you know wouldn't mind doing that and sitting in front of me?
I'll ask. I mean, I listen, so much of what, where Alano and I are, I feel like if there's anyone, that you think of that you're like, that that I'm probably connected to, I'll
Okay.
ask them. I never have a problem asking.
Okay.
I'm always like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You've been texting like that all these years.
all these years.
So I do want to get into you having a big announcement and a big breakout on March 29th.
Yep.
which is my oldest daughter's birthday. So when I see that
Hey.
date, I was just like, man, see, everything just aligning the right way. She turns 22, and I want you to be able to have this platform to share what you have coming out and launching, and we can go into our closeout.
Well, funny enough, this platform is a gift to your daughter. Over so many years, I always joke that I was a mentor before I had anything to mentor about. And, time and time again, I found myself giving more life advice than career advice because so much of what we do is informed by who we are and how we take care of ourselves. And, I've been an advocate for NAMI mental health organization for 10 years. And I just decided when I was thinking about how I can be of service in this moment, in this specific moment, with everything that we are all confronted with, I was thinking about how I can share my wisdom, and, start to like release the kind of gatekeeping that mental health access and mental health practices is often kind of victim of. There's like a lot of books out there. There are a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of neuroscience. There's a lot of scientific journals. There's a lot of information, but a lot of the information I find is behind a paywall. It's very like, oh, come and take my workshop. And that's great because we all got to eat.
Yeah, right. But you get that
Let's be
news
clear.
first, and you get the information first, and then that last question is, check out the workshop type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so, I was just interested in a weekly blog. It's going to come out every Saturday where I shared, it's essentially like mass mentorship, where I share, stories from my personal life, personal anecdotes, and all with the intention of sharing mental health practices that are tried and true, that have been scientifically proven, that goes beyond, you know, uh, us pathologizing and knowing what, gaslight means.
Right.
So that's the intention. It's meant to be sipped and savored, and it's meant to help the readers start to build their own toolbox and know like, oh, this is what I need to make myself feel better in this moment.
I love that.
So DeWanda'sblog.com.
And that comes out March 29th.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be so dope. When I seen that, I was like, man, people making a difference. People doing that's one of the reasons why I did this platform. So, comedy was a huge interest in mine.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Montel Williams, Oprah, all those shows. And I used to be so infatuated on how people shared their stories.
Yeah.
But, I have, a silly, goofy bone in my body. I love stand up. I love getting in front of people, making people laugh. So I was like, how can I marry the two? And so, 4 years ago, I had in my mind what I wanted. And I was in my own way because I wanted it to be perfect. I didn't want to do
Right.
ritual stuff. I didn't want to do one camera setups. I didn't want to do none of that stuff. And I was just like, you know what? 2 years ago, I said, I'm going to just shoot my first episode. And I don't care what I had with me. Did it at Nags Head Beach with my I call him my brother. We're like soul brothers. We've known each other for about 10 plus years now, going on 10 years actually. And he's an actor in the industry. He's an independent actor. His name is Ken Roundtree. And he's out here in North Carolina as well. And he was my first guest on my episode. And then we were just talking about random stuff. We talked about when Mike Tyson showed his behind on so if you remember that when he fought
Oh yeah.
the fight and his butt was all
we all remember that.
I said this is the first episode that I gotta push out. I was like, I gotta talk about it. So he's real close to me. So we egg on each other a lot. We're like, hey man, how can we pour into each other's craft?
Yes.
And so he was just like, man, just do the podcast. So my wife was on the Christmas episode. So whenever you get a chance to, the episodes are on Fifth Sun Television. It's on the Roku. And if you go on your Apple phone, if you have one, or Android phone, you can type in Fifth Sun Television from the Play Store and you'll see the app on there. You'll see most of 20 plus episodes of the In True Form on there.
Awesome.
And it's also on YouTube and Spotify, iHeart, the audio versions and all of that stuff. So like I said earlier, it means a lot. I couldn't cover everything that I wanted to cover with you, but what we were able to talk about and share with one another is definitely still a blessing. But I do want to close it out with my signature question. You know, In True Form is all about authenticity, resilience, and stepping into your purpose. What does In True Form mean to DeWanda in your day-to-day life?
In true form, it means building a world and a reality for yourself that you don't need to escape from. That's what it means to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's what they do at in poetry nights. Hey, listen, man. I say we got you right at 303 or whatever, man. I appreciate you, D. Look at me, I'm calling you D. Like
I love it. Thank you.
That was real natural, but anyway.
I love it.
I appreciate you. It means a lot. Hope that we can stay connected. Hope to meet your husband one day. Seems like
y'all gotta meet. Now that I know the basketball thing, yes, gotta have.
Yeah. I still hoop. I'll be in the gym too. You know, we at Lifetime.
Yeah. Y'all got a lifetime.
You're right, but no, I'm gonna make sure when your blog is put out there, I'm gonna make sure I push it just like I push everything else. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to say, man. I appreciate all you all for tuning in for another amazing episode of In True Form. We have DeWanda Wise, who has blessed the cameras today and talked a little bit about her journey. Hopefully there's a part 2 in the future. In the meantime, DeWanda, you and your husband stay blessed. Keep doing your thing in the industry, man. Keep walking into your purpose.
Thank you, Corey. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Peace.
Peace.